And now for the not game section, we are talking about anime taste and how to find things you like.
Yeah.
Isaiah, you have been going through it. I've been emotionally torturing you with my anime takes and my anime thoughts.
Not even takes and thoughts, just more
My anime aloofness, my mystery, my mystique.
I'm trying to find your. I'm trying to get a better sense of your anime style, because you're not. You like it. Well, I don't know if it's fair to say you like anime, but you're open to anime, right? Like you've seen anime before, you've watched it. You have shows that you like, you have shows you don't like.
Yeah, I'm an anime hater I'm a hater by choice and a fan by chance.
So yeah, I've been going down this road of trying to recommend and you know, give you some options of things to watch and see what sticks, what doesn't. And so far it's been hit or miss, you know. It's tough. We're still very early in our journey, but yeah, no, we introduced you to Frieren, and that was I thought it could go either way in the beginning, you know. I know that show is fantastic. I just didn't know if you would see it through enough to get to the point where I thought you would think it was fantastic. And you muscled through, and you is it fair to say you really like it?
I love it.
You love it.
I love it.
Right.
I have so many things favored on Etsy that are Frieren related because I love that show. I think that show's awesome. I cannot wait for season 2. I want to read the little mangas. But then I don't want to spoil the show, so I guess I won't read. I'm like, fine, I won't read. Oh no. Yeah, but it took a while for me to be into it. I wasn't into it until I think when they got to the town with the demons. I think is when I got into it.
Which is like around like episode 7, 8. Like that.
Which I think you thought I would get into it by the time they got the guy in the party. What's his name? Stark.
Yeah, I thought by the time Stark like officially joined, I thought you would be like, which I guess you kind of were, like more like, okay, I'll see this through. Like, I'm not in love with it, but it's interesting enough. It's inoffensive. It's, you know, some good moments here and there.
I will say, in my defense, you can let me know if I'm off base here, but I think I'm very down to see things through. Unless I actively dislike them, then I'm like, okay, I kind of don't want to watch this, Isaiah. But I'm always down. It's just that I feel like I'm not as down as you want me to be. Like I'm not. Like, you want me to be down, but also excited, and I'm like, down is different than excited.
Yeah, I want you to at least be intrigued. I didn't get the sense that you were intrigued yet.
Like Frieren? No, I wasn't. Yeah. I was just doing it because I'm like, I don't know, we're doing it.
Exactly, and it's like, well, there's so much anime out there. We don't need to waste our time on things that are fun. Again, it's just like if you just were introduced to games, and it's like, oh yeah, sure, you could play Zabumafu Adventure and it'll be a cool romp, right? But you could also just play Mario or Zelda or God of War, like any of these other fantastic games. It's like, well, why are we settling on mediocre here? Why are we settling on good enough when we have great just right around the corner? Just keep going, you know? So I'm trying to find things that really spark joy in you and speak to your inner child, your inner heart.
And you're afraid of me, and I'm tormenting you with my taste or lack thereof. Yes.
No, not even. It's so we like I said, we start off with Frieren, which your anime history, I guess, quick history.
Anime history. I've mentioned it before on the show, but just to give a clean overview. I probably watched some Sailor Moon as a kid. I respect and enjoy Sailor Moon as a concept more than I probably like it as a show. Admittedly, I don't think I watched that many episodes as a kid, or at least, or if I did, I don't remember them. But I did see a good amount. Like I think I saw the movie and everything with like the little sister, like Mini Moon or whatever, and stuff like that. So I watched definitely a good amount, but I'm not convinced that holds up. You know, like I'm not, and I think we rewatched like one episode of something, and I was like, whatever. Like, but I love the vibes. It's got magical girls. I love the little transformation they do. I like the look of the characters and stuff. Like, it's cool. Like but I'm like, it's kind of like, how I made that joke the other day online where I was talking about there's like I was raised Catholic, and there's like definitely a group of Catholics who like don't go to church except for on Easter and Christmas. I'm like that with Sailor Moon. It's like I'm not watching the shows anymore. I barely remember the shows. Honestly, the shows probably weren't good, but I got the Color Pop palette when it came out. It's like good, yeah. Not at the tip of the cap to Sailor Moon. Dragon Ball Z is kind of similar, but I have like more memories of the show specifically because I watched the show I think a lot more. I don't want to say religiously, it's a little dramatic, but I watched it regularly. It was like part of what I did. After a while, like my brother had been watching it for a while. I wasn't interested. I was just hanging out doing other stuff. But then one day I was like, you know what? I'm going to go over and watch, see what it's about. I remember that day I was coloring on the kitchen table and we had like, the living room to kitchen to dining room was like open, but it wasn't like quite open. It was like, because it's like the kitchen was like closed off with like a doorway that was open. And then there was like the dining room and then there was like the living room. So you could not see the TV from the living room unless you like leaned your head back and like leaned all the way over.
Sure.
But it was like in the other room, you could hear the TV very easily from the living room. You just couldn't watch it from the dining room. So I was like coloring and then I was like, what's going on with this? I think it was during the Frieza saga that I walked in on the show, and that's a great spot.
Yes, great place to
start. The Frieza
start.
stuff is awesome. I like the stuff with Cell. I didn't like the Majin Buu candy thing. I thought that was stupid. Even as a kid, I thought it was stupid. I was like, this is stupid. Like he's, and I also, the androids, sometimes it was badass, sometimes it was a little dumb. Yeah, but I generally like the show. I like the fights. I liked the characters, and just like what they had going on and all that. The like Vegeta's all petty and he's angry. I like the stuff with like Piccolo taking care of Gohan, and I liked the stuff they did with like bringing people back to life and things. I like the hyperbolic time chamber, iconic moment in anime history. Yeah, like I liked those things about the show. Again, do I think the show actually is the show actually a great anime? I would say probably not, just because I remember the show being like pretty cheesy, having like really drawn out episodes. Like there was that whole thing of, I forgot the name of the cut, but where they like made a version of the show that cut out the fluff. Yeah, because it was a lot of just like long stares back and forth and back and forth.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of a little. Again, do I think that's like peak anime? No, but it's like I have a big deep-seated affinity for Dragon Ball Z in the sense that, when the Fortnite skins dropped, that's when I tossed that coin over to Epic. I said, give me all the Dragon Ball Z skins. These are my childhood. I think to sum it up though, like when I'm into an anime, I kind of am really into it, but it's rare. And then I think I do need to give a nod to also like Soul Eater. I watched a bit of Soul Eater in high school.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I didn't finish it because I got discouraged. Someone told me that the ending sucks and I just stopped watching it. But I like that show as well. I watched a teeny bit of Death Note, but like not much.
It's only 21 episodes.
I don't know. I was watching it with someone or something and I just never finished it, kind of thing.
We should watch
it seemed cool. I liked it, and I watched a bit of Attack on Titan, but I fell off on the season that had like all the politics of the Rose City. I like didn't really give a fuck. I know a lot of people are like they really like that season. It turns out it wasn't me. I thought it was really drawn out. I thought it really took away from like the momentum of like the more action bits of the story. And I will say I got a little sick of the whole like what's in the basement. I thought that was a little stupid. Like we can't just fucking punch through why can't we go to I don't get why that's been such a mystery for so long. I still don't know what's in there because I didn't finish it. Everyone says that I'm going to be disappointed, and that's the other thing. So I think some of the themes that I get from anime is don't finish it because it sucks at the end actually. And then some of it's like actually kind of bad. So it's like I don't know. So that's that. But that is my whole history with anime. Everything I named is minus like animated films, which I've seen some animated films. But I feel like when we talk about anime, we're not really talking about animated films. We're talking about like the shows. What
about like do you have a history with the Americanized anime, like a Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Digimon, like any of those kind of like
some Pokemon,
WB Kids kind of animes?
I definitely watched Pokemon, Digimon, and Yu-Gi-Oh. I didn't watch that much Digimon. I mostly watched Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh. I like the Blue Eyes White Dragon. I liked when he goes, it's time to do the duel. But I liked that when I was like 9. I don't know if I like it as an adult. I know it as an adult. I'm like, yeah. I remember them saying that. I remember his hair is crazy. That's kind of it. Pokemon, I'm sure there's some stuff there I enjoyed as well, but it wasn't like, I'm not like, what it's really good.
Sure.
Fucking Pokemon. But yeah, I mean, I remember like the Butterfree, goodbye, you know, and I did really like the episode of Pokemon when Pikachu was like, I'm not gonna evolve, like, and I'm doing this for the culture, you know, like I'm putting the block on my back, and Meowth was like, he's really about it. Like I'm translating and he's like really about the action, you know? Like, and that was like what the translation was. I thought that episode was really cool. But those are kind of my standouts. I like the movie as well. I thought it was like, I thought Mewtwo was really cool. Like he was super badass.
Yeah.
Really evil, but also like, was he evil? Like he's anti-human, but like, what do humans do for Pokemon? You know, I feel like I gotta rewatch it. I think Mewtwo might have been other. I fear he might have wanted to like destroy all humans though, so probably didn't really, you know, villains who have good ideas always take it a step too far, where it's like, oh, like, it's like I was with you until you said you wanted to blow up the hospital. That I kind of felt like not so much, you know? So, and I love that Ash tried to just pull up on him for real. I thought that was funny and stupid and wild. Yeah, and it definitely is cheesy, but I think I enjoyed the tears. They unstoned his body with the tears. So yeah. Good shout outs. That's also part of the history, but a lot of it, I'd say most of that is childhood, because even like Soul Eater, I watched that in high school, which is like, that's basically childhood still. I feel like if you're a minor, you know, it's pretty young. So my only adult anime is Frieren and Attack on Titan, I think.
Okay. And I haven't seen Soul Eater. I know of the name, but I couldn't tell you literally anything about it. I don't know the concept. I don't know the story. I don't know anything. Big Bad, nothing. So
I like honestly very barely remember it. I can kind of picture what like the main guy looks like, but I actually don't know much. So it's like, would I like that now? I don't know. I remember enjoying it at the time, but you know, who knows?
So it's all right, cool. We've been.
What's your anime history?
Oh man,
it might be a lot to. Maybe you can't name every show because there's too many. You know?
No. So I think growing up, I was definitely more of the Toonami anime kind of kid, where it's like I watched what was on American televised cable kind of thing, right? You know, after school, the Pokemon, the Digimon, the Yu-Gi-Oh, right? As you get older, you know, teens, and you got Toonami, with Dragon Ball Z coming in, maybe a little bit of Gundam and stuff like that. I think it probably wasn't until like late high school, early college that I started getting into like seeking out anime and like doing things like oh, like what's this Death Note about? Let me watch that. Oh, this is really cool. Death Note is the what's the movie that they say is like every guy's favorite movie?
The Godfather?
No, maybe it is The Godfather, but I thought it's like I thought it was a Quentin Tarantino movie.
Oh, Pulp Fiction?
Maybe it is Pulp Fiction. I feel like Death Note is like the Pulp Fiction of anime, where it's like, I don't think anyone's gonna be mad that you say that's your favorite anime, but it is like really, that's your favorite anime? Like, I mean, it's good.
Scarface also up there for like film.
Yeah. But I was one, you know, it was one of the early, like, I feel like this is the point where I'm saying like, oh, like true anime, where it's like, if I want to watch it, I can easily find it subbed.
Yeah.
If I want to watch the dubbed, maybe I gotta look a little bit harder to do that. Like, it's starting to become more of a like sub first kind of anime. I think around like, again, high school is also maybe where I watched like Naruto and Shippuden and Bleach and started getting into that kind of stuff, right? And then like more kind of adulthood anime, it's like, okay, like I'm more likely to throw on something like this is like, you know, mid to late 20s to present kind of thing. It's like, oh, if I hear of something that's good, I'll look it up. I'll see. Hopefully it's on Crunchyroll. Sure, I'll throw it on. I'll watch it sub. I'll read along, read the little subtitles, listen to it, blah, blah, blah. Do my 12 episodes is like the joke on like TikTok and stuff. It's like you see something, it's like, oh, it smells like 12 episodes. And it's just like the way the anime sometimes just get released is like they'll just do 12 episode season, see if it picks up and kind of go from there. So yeah, definitely more likely to just kind of like jump into something. I've spent some time trying to catch up on like some of the hits that people recommend, like Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood and things like that. But
and then your anime club, it's like just you jumping on a call with your friends, but you guys are doing One Piece, right?
Yeah, we did a couple other shows But right now we're trying to work through One Piece because none of us have seen it, and it is daunting to say the least. It's like 1,000+ episodes. It's like, I don't know, like 90+% all canon too. So it's not even like Dragon Ball Z or something like that, where it's like, oh, like, yeah, when Goku gets his license, it's like you can just skip that whole.
Why would you? No,
that whole time.
I'm
Like,
just kidding. Because actually, Dragon Ball Z was, I think, pretty bad at that stuff. Like,
yeah.
I think now it seems like in the modern era, like slice of life mixed with something is like totally a thing. But there, it felt more like you don't really know how to do this.
Your slice of life in
yeah,
my.
It's like, is this in here?
Fighter anime, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. And then I started also in the more modern era, like starting to, almost like you with games, like hone my interests, where it's like learning more about the kinds of anime and why I like this anime versus that anime, or this show versus that show, and stuff like that.
You're a student of anime now.
I'm getting there. I'm becoming more of a student. Yeah, trying to learn studios and like know who did what in this show, so that like, oh, they also did this in that show. Okay, I have an idea of what it might be like and stuff like that.
So you're a real sicko.
So, yeah, getting there. So all of that, as I'm slowly developing my own tastes and what I like and what I don't like, trying to also gauge you and your adventure interest growth, trying to figure out what it is that like you might like and recommend things to you. It is challenging.
Yeah, I think too, I should give a nod. Again, I've spoken about this before on the show, but why do I say I'm an anime hater? What do I think being an anime hater means? It means that I will walk by the TV and I'll see anime happening and I'll catch it at its weakest points and say, ugh, okay.
Yeah.
Now, again, I want to acknowledge I'm mostly hamming this up. I know that in every single media, I mean, we just talked about Split Fiction, which I know, obviously we disagree on, like, is that story a good story or not? For like me, it's not really. And for you, like, oh, I thought it was cool. Everything has weak stories, bad things, good things. So I definitely don't think, oh, anime just sucks or anime is just this thing. I'm sure some are like whack and then some are like great, like anything else. However, I think there's like a really distinct flavor to like certain things that sometimes happen in anime that I don't like. Corny stuff, just like, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like sometimes things are just, it's just corny. I don't know how else to explain it. Like sometimes the storytelling I think can be really corny. I think the writing can be like cheesy and overly dramatic. I know some people would say, oh, that's like because I do tend to watch the English version. So what is that, dubbed, right? I watch dubbed, and some people will do the, oh, well, like sometimes they don't, maybe in people's opinions, they don't get like the best voice acting talent for the dub. And thus like it makes the lines suffer. Like the delivery of the lines is not as good as it is in the sub. Though also I'm like, how do you know if the delivery is good in the sub if you don't know Japanese? I don't think you could know. Like obviously you can tell general tone, right? Like sad sound versus happy versus angry. But I'm like, it could just be maybe the writing is just bad. Like I feel like sometimes people try to like hide behind the voice acting a little bit. Like it's like, oh well, it's just not well voice acted. But if you read it, it would be better. And I'm like, I don't know. I feel like it's still kind of cheesy. And then of course there's like the weird sexual nature of sometimes like some of the humor or some of the things. Like I don't like the like the like, it would be funny if we talked about something pervy. I don't like that in anime generally, or not in any, I don't know. I feel like anime does it in such a specific way where it's like someone has big titties and the titties bounce. It's like, okay, whatever. Or it's like weird, like hamming up of being a perv in ways that like don't happen as much. Like there's plenty of, I'll watch like plenty of raunchy content of like 40-Year-Old Virgin's like one of my favorite movies. I think it's, it doesn't age perfectly, but there's like a lot of funny moments in that do lean on like that kind of humor. We just watched Booksmart like a year ago. I think we both enjoyed that. Also kind of has that raunchy humor to it. But I think like something about like the ways I've seen raunchy humor be done in anime, it doesn't land for me because it's a lot of like, I hope no one sees the stack of porn under my bed. Oh my God. And I'm like, bro, you're making it weird. Like you're being weird. Like, I guess it's less like situational and more like punchline-y in a way that doesn't land for me, where I'm like, like it kind of like, ugh, like I don't like it. I get that. I'm sure there are some people that find it funny. That's probably why they keep doing it. But like,
I think it's just the culture, like a cultural thing.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but
Yeah.
you can keep it.
Sure,
You can keep it. So like I remember that one show you watched. Like I also don't like when like the tea is that like they're the like that weird show you watched that I didn't like of the teacher, the assassination
classroom.
I don't like that. Like one of the things that ends up happening. That I don't want to get too into maybe spoilers, but it's like it turns out he's a pervert. It's like I don't know. Like that is really like I don't know. Like I was like you gotta. I'm gonna head out. You guys can stay here. I'm gonna head out. So those are some issues that have arisen or issues I present you with to like go forth knowing this about me and return with a proper bounty. That's kind of all I've given you because I don't really know anything else about like what makes me like something or not. I'm able to tell you what I've liked in Furin, and you've kind of tried to maybe use that to go forth. So like, what do you think I like? And what have been your struggles trying to assess my mind?
So going into it, I recommended Furin. We talked about Furin after you finished watching it. But I thought Furin was going to be a safe bet just because it was very cute while also good. Like, again, you between the two of us, you are the story person.
Yes.
I felt that story banged. And if I felt it banged, I figured you would be able to see things in this, like appreciate the story even more than me, just because you know the writer's context for storytelling and things like that. And so like, I figured like, oh, if I'm picking up on some of these things, you have to be able to also pick up on it. And I presumed you would enjoy it. And you did. So it's like, okay, cool. Cute, good story. Great. Got 2 check marks of things that you like.
Yeah.
And I also knew that I thought that like, oh, there's some like cool badass moments too, where like Farron like really pops off and this, that, and the third. And it turns out you really like those. Like,
did that surprise you?
That caught me off guard.
Yeah. Why did that surprise you?
Just because you seem more. That seems too dumb for you. Like it seems too basic of like a like. I think I
was raised cool on the quintessential basic bitch anime, Dragon Ball Z.
Yes,
so.
But you also said you didn't really like super fuck heavy like that with Dragon Ball Z. It was more of a like Dragon Ball Z was presented. It was in your environment, and you.
I did like it. I did like it a lot though. But that's why I kept watching
sought it out. Like I sought out Dragon Ball Z because I like the fights. It seemed like you weren't put off by the fights in Dragon Ball Z.
No, I like the fights. Maybe I never talked about that enough with you. That's like, I mean, it's Dragon Ball Z. That's all there is to like. Like when. I'm not gonna say spoilers for Dragon Ball Z. It's a million years old. Like I'm sorry. When Frieza gets cut in half, that's like one of the greatest moments of my life. That was like so cool. I guess I should have told you that before. What's the word for that? When you're cutting off like limbs, there's a word for that.
Like
it's called not they talk about it a lot in Star Wars where it's like, oh, is Star Wars gonna have this? Like Star Wars historically doesn't have like this thing. There's a word for it. But I don't know. It's not like obviously there's decapitation if you cut someone's head off, but there's like a word for like the act of like cutting off limbs or cutting people in half. Like I really like that. Like I enjoy watching people get eviscerated.
All right.
Yeah. Now obviously I'm sure there's probably limits to that. I don't, I wouldn't say that like I'm like a gore person, but I'm also like animated stuff is different than like real people. But yeah, like I enjoy that. So like for me, you're like, I think in your head, because I do like a lot of cute stuff. Like so much of my life is like, and I play a lot of like wholesome games, which are like a big tenet of wholesome games often is the cuteness. So it's like, oh, it's so cute. Or like, I love the little, like, look at these little guys and their buddies. And I love like, stationery and stuff, and I'd be like, oh, look at how it's an eraser, but it's cute because it's like a bear's face, and then inside the bear's face there's another bear, and it's just bear, and I do love that stuff. And I'm like, oh, look at my stickers, and look, it's a sticker of a cat, and he's at the bank. What's he doing at the bank? He's just a cat. I love it, so I do love a lot of cute stuff, so that's a fair thing. But yeah, I also like action and violence. So like for me, I think you expected me to be like, wow, oh my God, Friren's eating this pancake and the pancake looks cute and she's cute and they're all cute and they're friends and that's cute. And to be like, that great show. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then Friren's like, I just cut your legs off and you didn't even know that I didn't even say anything. I just started chopping limbs, and I was like, hold on now. Hold on now. Now we're getting into some action. Okay. And then everything kind of like blends together. And I like the slice of light wholesome stuff of Furin too. But now I'm like, well, we actually have like this additional momentum to it. It's not just like we're eating apples and then it's like how to eat more apples. It's like at any time we might have to whoop ass. And I'm like, let's go. So yeah, but I find it funny that that surprises you, but I guess it's kind of valid because it's not like I'm watching a lot of like, I don't know. I'm not like, I guess I'm not bro-y with like games either. Like I like games that are violent, but I'm not necessarily like my favorite thing is the violence. Like obviously in certain games that's true. Like OG God of War, it's like the game's about violence, you know? It's like, sure, you can say, oh, it's just about mythology, but it's like, yeah, but what I like is when I rip people's heads off. And then it happens to be a Greek head, and that's kind of cool, but like it's about ripping the heads off. But like I don't talk about games in that way, you know. I'm not like seeking that out, and I don't shoot a lot of things. Yeah. So maybe that's what surprised you.
I think also obviously it's different for each show and blah blah blah. But I feel like what I'm also discovering is not that you aren't willing to give the time to get to the meat and potatoes of a show, but I think for a lot of anime that I've watched and would recommend or enjoy and blah, 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 there is a sort of like investment buildup to it that is a harder sell for someone like you who I think gravitates and enjoys the more faster to
dismemberment was the word I was looking for.
Like a quicker sort of getting into the action of things. I think it's like if you were new to games and I only brought you like JRPGs and it's like, well, what I really want is just maybe like a Call of Duty where I'm getting in level 1, we're shooting, we're punching, or like an Astro Bot.
So am I dumb?
I'm immediately jumping around.
No offense to all the Call of Duty
blah, blah,
fans.
Blah. You know, like the idea of having to invest in order to like build the world around before you can even enjoy.
I don't mind investing, but I get the sense that you want me to be more excited about the investment, which maybe I'm supposed to be more excited about the investment.
Not more excited about the investment, but just more like it would be easier if you were into the investment as much as the eventual payoff.
As like the process.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I'm just kind of like I'll sit here and I'll watch it because it's like it's not, unless it's actively bad, which so far we just started this process, so like I don't know if there'd be something where I'm like Isaiah, turn this thing off. Sure. But I'm not like excited for you to turn it on. You know, I'm just like, oh, like let's just knock this out. We can watch some of these.
I want something that where you're excited to turn on. And I think I think we're getting there. I think I'm finding it. It's like so we did the Furin. Yeah. Then I got a little too ambitious. It was on me. It was on me. Again, I don't know what kind of anime you like, so we're trying different genres. Okay. Started off with the slice of life. Tried to try isekai with that time I got reincarnated as a slime. I think it was one of those things where you got like 3, maybe 4, I think just 3 episodes in. And you weren't like fully put off by it, but I didn't get a sense that you were enjoying the journey.
Yeah, I crushed your spirit that day.
A little bit, because I think it's really good, but it does take a little bit. A lot of shows take a little bit of time to get into. And I want you to have a good time the whole time. So I think we had to pivot off of slime. And I had to pull out a heavy hitter. Based on everything I knew about you, I figured this would be an easier sell in the beginning. I brought out Solo Leveling.
Yes. Which I was a little nervous about because I don't want to drag people. I remember one of my friends that I like follow, like we're mutuals on socials, was like, I feel like this is kind of too gamey, and they weren't into it. I also have another friend who was really into it and recommended. I was talking about Furin, and he brought Solo Leveling to the table and said, "Oh my god, like talking about liking an anime and like a good anime. Oh my, I'm watching this. It's so good." Da, da, da. Yeah. So, and I know you were liking it, so it's like, you know, I was not sure what would happen, like where I would land on it. So I was like a little bit worried that I'm like, maybe this thing that like you really like think is gonna be really good, I'm gonna be like, it's all right. I'm loving it so far. We're on we're about to start episode 3.
I think.
Or we just 4. Did 3? We're about to do 4.
Yeah, because the first 2 are like the whole like
setup or whatever.
Basically setup dungeon. Yeah.
Yeah. I really like it. It's got a lot of really good action, and I'm intrigued by the kind of like what it's positioning or like it's funny. It doesn't really position like one thing. So to zoom back out for the time I got reincarnated as a slime. Because I never said I didn't like this anime. I never said I hated this anime.
I know you didn't, but
now I'm gonna finally do what you did.
I gave you 3 episodes of 2 different shows, and one of them you came out and said I'm having a really good time, and the other one you said
I watched it.
I'm here.
I watched it. Yeah. Well, I don't know. You take me to freaking La Authentica Tacos, and then the other one you took me to what's the other one I don't like? Pablitos. Nothing's wrong with Pablitos. I feel like it's a lot of money for what it is, and I feel like why there's better tacos out there. Like I don't understand. Anyway, yeah, the time I got reincarnated as a slime, I think it's I enjoy some of the absurdity of it, of like the slime and he's like friends with the dragon. There's a cute little animation of like, oh, they're friends, and then you like the dragon puts his little talon in the slime lab and it goes ding, and I'm like, oh, that's cute, that's amusing. But also like what's the name? I keep forgetting the name of this fucking slime. Rimuru. Something about him, I'm not rocking with him, you know what I mean? It's like something about how he's got like a punchable personality. Like there's something a little bit like you kind of want to see him get his ass beat. I don't know, like something about him. He's not annoying. That's a little too far, because I've been annoyed by characters before. Again, with the video game comparison, Persona 5, full of people I don't like. I'm like, I don't like you. I don't like you. I don't like you either. You're kind of okay. And there's like 3 people I rock with. And I'm like, everybody else, I'm going to see you later when I got nothing else to do in the game and I have to spend time with you. I don't like you. I don't like who you are. I don't like where you're from. I don't like where you're going. I don't like you. He's not like that. He's not that level. But he's kind of like, I don't know. I'm not, rooting for him. I'm not excited for him. Like, I'm just kind of like, whatever. But I think there's some interesting things set up in that story of like the drama of it, but I feel like we're very far away from the drama. Like it's very much like we're going somewhere and then we do a thing and then we leave. And that is a lot of story structures, because Frieren has that structure as well to a degree. But I just felt like, what's the conflict? What's the juice? Like I don't care really about what's going on, and everything's solved very quickly and conveniently, and it's like like I don't really care, and I feel like I don't have to care because like it's all like kind of taken care of for me. It's like on autopilot. I feel like it's narratively on autopilot. I'm like, okay, whatever. Maybe some more interesting things will happen later, but to me, we hadn't gotten there. Where I guess like you were like interested already, and again, I wasn't gonna peace out. I didn't dislike it, but I didn't like it. I was neutral on it, but I guess you were more. You want me to be more into it, but I felt like I was the same way with Frieren, so I was down to keep writing. But then you pulled the plug. You killed the time I got reincarnated as a slime. Well, and I want to know why. So why you took my anime away?
I think that slime is much closer to like a. So if Frieren is the journey of this like party, and like you're learning about this party and their history and discovering the past and like what they'll do in the future and blah blah blah. Slime is more like starting a village, where is a village, so metaphorical and literal village built around slime, but like they start introducing new characters come to the village. Oh, they have their own story, and they're now they're integrating here, and like so this like family of characters kind of grows and like becomes more interesting. You start to like them a little bit more, while there's still like action and combat and like conflict of neighboring villages that are maybe good or bad or what have you. So there's villains and things like that show up, and the village has to take care of it and like figure out what to do. But it does take the time to build that village. Like you need that village in order to have the village conflict kind of thing. So, and I just didn't think you were going to be excited for the ride to get to the village.
What's funny about that, I think we should draw attention to with this conversation, is like this is, and the difference here is that like you have been playing games for, I'd say, pretty much your whole life. Like when did you first game? Like how old are you when you like first?
Super young, 6, 7, 8. Okay,
so we're pretty much the same. I was 5, but like not that different from 6, 7, 8. Yeah. I'm a little better than you, but not by as much.
Well, this is a guess. I don't know. All right,
I know that I was 5 when I was playing my first game. So,
When
Yeah.
the Game Boy come out?
Well, when the Game Boy came out, 99, 98. Game Boy. Did you hear the date released? 89. The OG Game Boy, like the fat one, 89.
When did Color come out?
Game Boy Color release date, 98. Were you like there at the drop? The rope drop of the Game Boy Color?
Between those.
Yeah. I'm mostly just giving you shit anyway. We're both young. So childhood, lifelong gamers, basically. And so this isn't a one-to-one because I wouldn't say I'm like a lifelong anime fan. I watched some anime when I was a kid. The end, like there's plenty of things that I've done that I'm not like an expert in, that it's like I played baseball as a kid too. I don't see me playing baseball anymore. So it's like, I wouldn't say it's like part of my life just because I did it young. Gaming is part of your life. So you know more about, what you like, what you don't like. But I find that I'm constantly being tortured by your gaming taste as well, because you'll come to me often, which is fair. I taste test more stuff than you do. And I know about like stuff slightly more than you. I mean, you follow obviously the news. We do the show together, obviously, but you'll sometimes turn to me and be like, "What should I play next?" Or "I'm in the mood for this," and then I'm going through like my Rolodex of games and being like, "Can I find a game that's like gonna hit for you?" Which can sometimes include games that I don't like, that I just think, you know what, people say this one's good, like maybe you should try it or whatever. But there have been times where I'm like, I'm trying to think of an L I've taken recently on a game. I take a lot of them. I don't know. There was something I gave you that you were like, this sucks. And I'm like, okay, I don't know. But there's, I'll present things to you and you'll not, or even something like a Ghost of Tsushima, for instance. Like, I don't love that game. I do think it's a good to maybe even great game. But I'm like, you know what? Like, action adventure, big PlayStation, you're a Sony boy. I'm like, yeah, this is, and I think at the time you were down for like a kind of basic checklisty game, which I think, as far as basic checklisty games, I think Ghost is like a pretty strong one. You were not rocking with that game. And I was like, damn, I kind of messed up. I'm like, because I didn't think you'd love it, but I thought you'd like it like more than you did. So then I'm like, okay, well, let me find something else. And then the only difference is I feel like you got to pull the plug on Slime. I didn't hate Finish Slime the way you hate finishing these games. But the kind of like...
Well, we can always come back to it. I just need to get you going.
The kind of stress, scramble, but also the knowing ahead of time. And now the roles are reversed, which I think is funny, because you'll be playing a game and there are signs, very clear signs to me, that you're not enjoying the game, even though you're like, no, I mean, it's fine. I'm just asking. And I'm like, no, you don't like this game. And the sign for you is you'll say, is this all the game is? And I'm like, fuck, he fucking hates it. Or you'll say, when does it get good? And I'm like, this is the whole game. This is what the game is. I was like, oh. So I feel like that was kind of happening with like the slime situation, where I'm just kind of like, I mean, like, I don't hate it. And you're like, no, we need a pivot. So yeah, solo leveling. I guess, how would you describe what solo leveling is?
I think solo leveling technically falls under shonen. I think it would be a shonen. So the three sort of genres of anime that I tend to watch and like and stuff are slice of life, which is like Frieren, isekai, which is slime, and then again shonen, which for the purposes of this is what I chose solo leveling for. I think there are other sort of core shonen shows like Naruto, Bleach, even DBZ and stuff like that for sure, right? But I think solo leveling would be considered a shonen. And so I wanted to at least bring to the table like one of each to you that I thought are very good, and see which ones you gravitate towards more. And to be honest, I think Frieren might even be like, I'm not super, of the three, slice of life is like my weakest for sure. And so like I don't even know if I like general slice of life, and so I feel like Frieren was just a safe bet just because of what Frieren itself was, not for what the genre is. The isekai I personally like is my personal favorite. I like the idea of like a character getting brought to this world and I'm along for the ride of them also like discovering what this world is. And obviously I forget the narrative mechanic that we talk about all the time about like, oh, obviously I know that this is a show and like I know things that the character doesn't, but I'm also discovering things alongside the character about the world that they're in. And shonen is its own lane. It is, I think, when you think anime fight scene, I think you're probably thinking of a shonen scene kind of thing. And it turns out I think the easiest way to get, and then there's like the political sort of like Attack on Titan is probably more of a like political anime. It has obviously also things about shonen, right, where there's a character who grows in strength over the series, and you know it's a political themed shonen. You could maybe is a good description for it, right? But it's like it's not just about becoming better. It's about the story, and then the action is like
yes,
one in this, like they're even. You know what I mean? Dragon Ball Z is about the action. Don't want to go a fuck about Planet Vegeta and all the shit that happened there, where these characters come from. They care about the fights, right?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to find out what's your balance of like liking one versus the other. Where are your sliders when it goes through like the parts of an anime that you like and enjoy, and that not only do you enjoy, but what draws you? Like, I want to know what you
I feel like I'm being psychoanalyzed.
want more of. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I will say I do be liking them fights, because when you, and I'm like, I think I might be basic is the thing that I think because I love so many, obviously I have my things that I really love in video games. Like I love platformers. I love narrative games. I would say, like, though it's worth noting that narrative games are much newer for me to love. I didn't actually start loving narrative games until like maybe like post 2016, like more my adulthood, that I started playing narrative games. Maybe a little bit earlier, because I started with Gone Home. Like I played Gone Home for the first time like in 2015 or something. And then like I started getting into other walking sims, and those are like the first walking sims I played. And then I started doing like around then, that's when I played Life is Strange, and that's when like my narrative game like lane really formed. And I've been really drawn to those games, and I really like that genre. So like that's there. Obviously action adventure is always there, just because like most games are action adventure. So, you know, I'm doing an action adventure kind of situation or whatever. But yeah. And I think you, in part because it's true, like kind of perceive me more as like a little bit like artsy fartsy with certain video games. Like I'll be like, oh, well, like it has, you know, and I kind of do it to myself, because I'm like, oh, well, you know, what's interesting is it has this unconventional narrative structure where you're actually like playing, it's inverted, but then if you turn the console upside down, you're playing the story the other way. And then, you know, like that's what's fascinating about it. And you're like, this isn't fun to play. And I'm like, you're dumb. And then that we kind of just go about a day after that. So I think you have this perception of me that is much more like artsy and like thoughtful. But like, I think maybe with anime, I'm just dumb. So because like we started playing, we turned on Solo Leveling, and the first 10 seconds of that show, there are giant ants ripping people apart, and I paused and I said, I think I might be dumb, because this is awesome. Yeah. I'm so, like, this is exactly what I want to see, you know?
But the thing is, even within that lane, there's like Naruto, right?
And then there was a bigger ant, and I said, they're doing even better than I thought they
would. I think like something like Naruto, I think has something like Naruto is the like, this is going to be a really weird equivalent that maybe people won't agree with, but just hear me out. It is the anime equivalent to a Pokemon game, where you have content that kind of gets you to the next gym. And like once you're in the gym, like when you walk into the gym, the metaphorical gym in Naruto, it's like, oh, shit's popping off. And your goal is to like keep watching, and there's enough like goodness in between the gyms to get you to the next gym. But like you are so looking forward to the gym, so you can see the next gym. Like you as the viewer know in your mind, like, oh, that next gym battle is about to be crazy, right? I don't get the sense that knowing there's a gym is going to necessarily be enough for you.
Yeah, I think what I need is
you need like boss rush.
Not even that. I think because
you need the Elite Four.
I gotta be honest. As much as I'm like, oh yeah, like big rip people up, yeah, let's go. And I'm like, you know, a 13-year-old boy, but like I think the way I described it, I was like a 13-year-old boy who like isn't interested in women at the time. Or like, you guys are always talking about these girls. I just want to like read my awesome stories, you know, and they're like a nerd or whatever. But I think the truth though is, if it only had that probably wouldn't still be enough, because it would just be like, there's not anything supporting it. I think what I really crave is dope action within an intriguing world.
Man, that's But
I know that's not hyper specific. I get it.
What's
I get
the ratio there, though? You know what I mean? Like, there is a.
I think
slime is that.
Anytime that. Well, also, like, you can't annoy me is the other thing. I think with slime, it's like you're kind of annoying because you're like, like, I think so much of slime too. Like, it's funny because both slime and Solo Leveling have like a video game like layer to them, whether it's like the way their systems work are gamey, whether they're explicitly a game, like there's something gamey going on with it.
I can't wait to introduce you to Shangri-La.
But I'm not saying that to say that I like the video game aspect of it. I mean, I don't dislike it, but it's like it's just a layer of a commonality where they're both kind of like playing on the video game thing. But what I didn't like and maybe Solo Leveling's about to like get too gamey where I'm like, you need to relax. It's like I got kind of like tired early on where like I feel like like the time I got reincarnated as a slime is like, oh my God. So you're saying I have an ability? This is like that game I played. And I'm like, okay, sure. And then like 2 seconds later, he's like, so I have HP like a video game character. I'm like, oh, okay, sure. And it's like, okay, like I fucking get it. Like you can shut the fuck up, you little whiny bitch. Like just, and like, cause we're also watching it up, like he has an annoying voice that's like, and he's like, I don't know. He like he's like a little annoying. And also like, he doesn't have any personality to him, at least early on. Maybe he develops a personality later. Like they kind of try to give him a personality where you see him as a human before he gets reincarnated as a slime. And early on, and maybe later they do more of these callbacks to his like human life where he's like, oh, like this is just like when I was a person and people would come to me with their problems and now they're turning to me again, like, and I need to lead them. Okay, sure. But Solo Leveling, immediately, like I know this guy and they explain him in a way that makes sense. It's like, oh, he's a whack dude. Like he's not very strong, but he's out here doing this job because he's trying to provide for his family. He's got a mom in the hospital. He's got a sister at school. And he's like, I am here for money. And I have the dog in me because I financially need to have the dog in me. Now, is the dog going to be enough for him? Like those things kind of remain to be seen. It's kind of implied that's enough because it's like, well, the show exists. Obviously, they could always do like, not a twist, but there are times where I've seen media where it's like, you're doing something and you're like looking in on a character and then it turns out actually the real character is the character to your left and like it goes from there or something, or like, you know, a big part of it, it's longer of a burn, but a big part of like The Last of Us as a franchise is kind of doing that. Like you have like this initial group and then the grouping kind of changes and you're still there and it's like different or whatever. You know, like that can't happen. So it's not like you're guaranteed to be with who you came with, you know what I mean? So it wouldn't like shock me if like, oh, it turns out I'm so early, I haven't even really met like the main guy. Like that could happen, but I don't know, right? That's part of watching something you don't know what's gonna happen. But it's like cool and like I'm kind of invested in that because it's like I have like there's something to latch onto here, and he's not annoying. One thing I didn't like about Attack on Titan is I do think Eren is really annoying. I think they de-annoy him over time. He kind of grows up and grows out of it as part of his character progression. But that happens quickly enough where I'm down for it because really who I'm looking at is Mikasa. I'm like, I wish this was your show because I like you. I get you. You have problems, but you're not a bitch about it. Well, Eren is a bitch. And Eren is like so that classic character of like, I kind of suck, but the people around me make it so that I don't suck. But I'm like, I hate you and you're kind of annoying. But then he kind of grows out of that. And then also he becomes more interesting as well as time goes on with like who he really is or like what his role in the world is and what his existence means for like the larger context of like what is going on in the world of Attack on Titan. What mysteries might be there, who stands to benefit from keeping these things hidden from people. Cool, intriguing, even though again I did get tired when they were like, let's debate the politics inside the wall for like 8 hours, which I get for some people. They're like, that's the whole point of the show, and I'm like, I don't know, I guess I'm not smart, I don't know. But yeah, like Solo Leveling immediately had great action and also just intrigue within the action. It wasn't like, because after the ant scene, it's like then we get into more of like with that first dungeon they do, there's intrigue in that of like what's gonna happen, what's happening here, like figuring things out, like learning more about the like cast of characters that was there. And like I think they integrate their personal stories really well in that. And like the time I got reincarnated as a slime, it just feels like so like kind of schlocked together early on. I think there probably is intriguing stuff because they show that group of people that come in, the adventurers that come in, and they probably have interesting stories. But it's like, okay, like the slime guy isn't interesting. Like he doesn't really have anything going on. He's kind of just like a nothing character. And then it's like there's interesting stuff happening in the story because it's like, okay, well, this dragon is freed. That's creating problems. These monsters are roaming. But it's like no one else has any personality, really. It's like, sure, there's like the goblin village guy. It's like he has a son and he says his son like died, you know, from the fighting the wolves. But like, they ain't really driving his character or anything. That's not really a big part of who when you look at, again, Fruran, you feel the ways that these characters' experiences have crafted who they are. Like you can see, like as you get to know, you know, the story and see more about it, you can see like the ways that you learn about Fruran's mentor, and like you can see how that relationship may have crafted Fruran into who she is or driven how Fruran acts. You know, you can see like these different, you don't just get backstory, but you feel how the backstory informs what you're seeing. And I don't think we have any of that, like in that early bit of like the time I got reincarnated as a slime, which again, maybe that comes later. Cause again, in Fruran early on, I don't think you see a lot of that either, but it's like, these are just like nothing characters in a world where, and also like the action we have had, the abilities are interesting. Like the fact that he has so many abilities and like, that's cool. Cause he's kind of like, you know, this like badass or whatever. So it's like, oh, it's cool. He can like consume people and then like gain their power and can like become like these creatures. So he can like become a spider and like a wolf and all these other things. But it's like not that interesting to unfold. Like the most interesting thing that happened in the time I got reincarnated as a slime is that he has a lot of cool abilities. And at one point, spoilers for like the second episode, he slices that wolf's head off. And that was really traumatic for me. And I thought that was really interesting. But after that, it's like business as usual. Like he's hanging out with the wolves. They don't give a fuck that he just slices guy's head off. They just don't care because they're wolves, I guess. And they're like, yippee, we're all friends. And then it's like, I don't know. Like, I don't feel anything to latch on to with the time I got reincarnated as a slime. Like, what would I be like if I had to be excited? Like, I'd have to just make something up. I mean, I think the general conflict is intriguing. Like, what's going to happen with this like dragon? How are the people reacting to things? How is the world changing around him as he explores it? Yeah, that's like kind of interesting. But I feel like we haven't gotten anything with that in those 3 episodes. So it's like, well, we're not messing with the thing that is intriguing. You haven't presented something new intriguing. So I'm just kind of sitting here seeing what's going to happen. But I don't feel like anything is happening so far. While Solo Leveling, I'm like, oh yeah, there's like been a bunch of intriguing stuff. Like I have a bunch of questions to like run with, and I want to see more. And then when the action's there, the action's great. So then it's like cool. But that's I don't know if does that tell you anything when you read my anime palm?
Yeah.
Can you see anything inside?
So I think it does. I think for now, Solo Leveling still safe bet. I do have slight fears because I don't know how you feel about power scaling and like
what
power
does that mean
differential. Like
for the non-weaves out there.
Yeah. So I would say power scaling is kind of like when Goku goes Super Saiyan.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh man, he was really struggling before, and then he went super, like he unlocked Super Saiyan or Super Saiyan 2 or whatever. And it's like, he's so much stronger. He had to go to the next level to fight this guy. Like, I don't know if that is cool for you.
I like Super Saiyan.
I also don't know if you like what I'm dubbing power differential, which is like when Frerin fought the guillotine, and it's like, oh, you thought like you had me, but really I am this like wealth of power, and I'm just gonna leak out a little bit of my potential to show you just how big the difference is between us.
Yeah.
Like, I also don't know if that's interesting to you, because I find both of those interesting.
What do you mean by interesting?
Like, does the power differential like intrigue you in that, like, well, how strong are you? Like, if you're playing this fool or like you're playing this weakling, and then you leak that like, oh, you're actually really strong. To me, that's like, oh shit. Well, how far does that go? Could they? When are they really struggling? Like, is there going to be someone who actually makes them struggle? Or
I
like,
would say then like, yes, because I like yes, but maybe not as much as you're describing. Because I don't think like with Frerin, finding out that Frerin is basically like God, and it's like I think I am kind of wondering like what will that mean for the future, but it also I think what's cool about Fruin is even though Fruin is like basically like a god who can just take care of everything, there's still like conflicts and issues that happen, and they're issues that feel like they make some sense. Like with Fruin, like, you know, again, I don't want to get into too many spoilers. We did the spoiler cast though, if people want to listen to that, and jump ahead to that part. But like on a technical level, there are problems that like Fruin could have solved by like, I'm just gonna start beating ass. But but she's like, I want to like, I ain't trying to be wilding out though, just because I can beat ass and I could be like, you know, because kind of what separates a good person from an evil person, right? Like using your power appropriately. So to me, it made sense. I wasn't like watching thinking, well, why isn't Fruin just like beating everyone's ass and solving this problem? Because it made sense because she had reasons for like, you know, I'm just going to play things by the book or like, you know, do what the town says or whatever. And that made sense. Like, I guess I also maybe get annoyed when things feel like they like the believability isn't quite there for certain things. And that's why I thought it was dumb when like, and granted they're animals, but like the wolves, like he killed that guy's dad and the guy didn't care.
I mean, it was his dad. It was
I know
his
he's
dad
a wolf,
and like it was like a wolf litter kind of thing, you know, like they're, you know.
So he had like a lot of, I don't know. It was just kind of like, it's almost like, why'd you even bring this up if it didn't matter, you know, kind of vibe. Like, and he's like, I wonder if he cares that I killed his dad. And he like didn't. He was like, I'm a dog. And I'm like, okay, I guess. Why'd we even bring this? Why are you bringing up shit? Why would you show it to me if I can't buy it? Yeah, so I like that. And I think what was really cool about Fruin, and again, without spoiling it, is they, as the show progresses, like there are some really cool challenges that aren't just about like, you can't just beat ass out of everything, right? Like you have to be able to figure certain things out and problem solve. And sometimes there are challenges that maybe can be hard even for someone as strong as Fruin, which is cool. So yeah, and then also when there is action, the action is still interesting. I think they also help offset that with having other characters play a role. Like there's also Fern and Stark. And what's kind of cool about that, the episode where there is like the, what do you call it, power differential thing? I feel like the difference between, you know, Fruin and something like Dragon Ball Z. In Dragon Ball Z, that would have just been Fruin and what's her name? The guillotine. The guillotine. They would have been talking the whole episode, just staring at each other. And then the next episode, they would have showed the power, and that's why that show kind of low-key sucks, because you would just stare at people forever. But what makes this show really good is that like while that's happening, there's also like Fern has to like fight somebody else, and like Stark is fighting somebody else, and they're working together, and they're not super strong. So there is like more danger and risk there. Even though you kind of know, well, I'm guessing Fruin wouldn't just like let Fern die, but also Fruin maybe would let Fern die, because Fruin's kind of like that. Fruin's like, hey, you're rolling with me. If you die, you die. You know, that's part of like, I'm not going to hold your hand through everything, you know? Yeah. So I don't know how that might inform you or not. But
I think all of this is just instilling that switch to solo leveling was the right decision. I think solo leveling is very much the action of Fruin with less of the in-between. So I think that is going to be...
And I like the in-between of Fruin, I do, but I kind of needed like that action to give me that juice.
Boy, do I have the show for you.
Is it solo leveling?
Yeah.
Okay, yay.
So
we're in it now.
I think we're gonna deep dive into solo leveling. I'm not sure what will be next after that, but I got plenty of time to
But this is really, I am
that.
really enjoying it because I feel very spoiled. This is like the passenger princess of content, which I wonder if you feel this way. I feel like you don't maybe enjoy it on the same level that I do, but with the games thing, again, still apples and oranges because you know games. It's not like you don't know games. It's just that like anyone else existing, sometimes you're looking for something, you're trying to find stuff you like. Again, none of us, no matter how well you know yourself, will never bat 1,000 or have complete accuracy on like, I thought I'd like this and I did, or I thought I didn't like this and I didn't. Yeah. Like, we're pretty good at it, but not perfect. So obviously we all turn to other people for like help on stuff. But yeah, like it has been fun having the turntables turn and you're like kind of looking over like, oh, you hate the thing I like. And I'm like, the only thing I need to do to you at one point is hate finish an anime that you like that I hate.
Hate finish slime.
And then I'll be like,
do that in your own...
I still think maybe I would like, again, I don't hate that show. It's just that like, it is the law that I have to be honest with you.
No.
And you know, I can't pretend like I'm like, I told you things I liked about it. I told you things I didn't like about it.
I think the other thing too,
I was not going to quit, but you're like, I want a win.
It doesn't help that also like anime is a time consuming medium, unlike like you can skip parts, which I guess technically you, if you really wanted, you could do that with shows too. But it's like watching a show. It's like versus playing a game. It's like I can skip fights in Claire to finish it faster. I can beeline the main objective and cut out 2/3 of the game or something like that. Maybe, who knows, right? You can't really do that with an anime, with a show in general. It's like you kind of have to just watch it, and that is in a time investment, and you're a very busy person.
I have to eat every day.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll give my meals to these things,
Hey,
you know?
I would love nothing more than to be like, you know what? Every lunch, every dinner,
lunch.
we're popping on an episode and working our way through it. We about to eat lunch right after this.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
We throw an episode.
I don't want to watch it now.
See, exactly. So it's like, all right,
scroll on my phone
why would I
today.
do that to Slime? Why would I have you do this thing that you said yourself you like Solo Leveling so far, and you're still not excited to watch it?
I am excited to watch it. I just genuinely don't want to watch it right now.
Yeah,
like, I just want to eat my lunch.
Tomato.
I just want to eat my lunch.
6 in one hand, half dozen in the other. You're saying the same thing I'm saying, right?
I just want to eat my. Can I eat my lunch? God forbid you eat your lunch without watching anime for one time in this house.
I'm just saying you're not going to be getting through it. This is what I'm basically trying to find the better persona to give you, where it's like it's going to take a while for you to get through this. Hopefully, you just enjoy the time. You know, it's a long journey.
Yeah, well, it's about Journey to World's End, right?
Yeah.
It's Furin. But yeah, well, it's funny, I don't feel the like, to me this is just like a thing I'm doing, and to you, not that you like are more obsessed with it, but like you just have a different, you like really love a lot of these shows, you like love it, yeah, and who doesn't like, it's a great feeling to like have something that you recommend to somebody and then they like it. It's like, that's great. It's like, I did that. I made that happen. I know this person, and I have good taste, and I'm better than everybody. It's like great little feather in your cap. Heavy lies the crown though. Like, so the give it and they take it away, because the opposite, you don't feel good. It's like, oh man, I thought you would like this, and you hate it. It's so awkward. It's so rough. So far I haven't hated anything yet, but we are also early.
I don't think I'll pick anything that I think you'll hate. I think I know. I think really just the perviness stuff is like the real big thing that I think would put you off of an anime. And none of the anime I've watched, let alone liked, are like incredibly pervy. Like, there's so many. Naruto has like pervy characters in it, but it's still a classic. DBZ has the Master Roshi's a pervy character, but it's like.
But I was too young to know that he was a perv, probably. So
I'm not too worried about that.
Yeah,
I don't think I'll find anything that you hate. I just fear it'll be hard to find something else that you love. Solo Leveling is so far so good. So
we'll fun, yeah. We'll see.
It's a stronger start than Furin, so
it is a stronger start than Furin. Yeah,
that gives me a little bit of hope.
Yeah, I'm excited I'm excited to watch more. Well, the other thing, here's the thing. The other thing with the anime thing, because you were like, you don't want to watch it now. We could just watch it now. With some of these anime, some of these episodes, sometimes you can't just stop at one episode with the way they be setting out the plot. So I do have to be checking in with you. Like even like the night we watched it, you're like, watch 2 episodes with me right now, and I'll stop harassing you. I'm like, okay, sure. So I watched the 2 episodes, and then, look at the time, didn't really want to do Claire. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I'm like, but I asked you, can I watch the 3rd one without feeling like I need to watch the 4th? And you said yes. And I felt like that was pretty true. I definitely felt like there was stuff that was interesting that made me want to watch more, but I didn't feel like I needed to watch more. There are episodes of Furin where I'm like, we're watching like the next 7. And that's a good problem to have. Like Severance had that for me too, season 1. Like there's the scene that ends like in the elevator, which a lot of scenes end in the elevator because they go down the elevator a lot. But there's like a scene with like Helly in the elevator, and I'm like, nope, I'm not sleeping tonight. I'm watching the next episode. I do not give a fuck. I need to see more.
Yeah.
And if I can avoid doing that in opportune times, I like to. So like for today, I know that after lunch, you're going to go, work on the show. I'm going to try to clean up the apartment, because that's kind of how we split things up. You edit the show, and then I like work on the apartment. I don't want to be locked into 2 episodes, So I just want to eat my lunch in peace.
You can stop at 1 episode.
No,
you don't have to watch it too.
Anyway, but this has been fun, and I'm enjoying this ride. Let us know in the comments is there a medium that you like, and I'm sure people have this with games all the time, because people always write in saying, how do I get my partner who hates games like games? Again, I still stand by, you do need a general chill intrigue. Like, I think if I didn't want to watch any anime and you said like, I have an anime that I think you like, that's not a good spot to start.
Sure.
You need to have some like, yeah, I'm down. Oh yeah, I'm interested. Yeah, sure. Show me something. And then you approach with caution and with awareness that you will probably, I feel like if you're not getting rejected on one of your picks, you're not, that person's lying to you. I feel like most likely. So yeah, but Isaiah, everyone's wishing you the best. And I'm enjoying just sitting here getting to be like, I didn't like this one. Oh, this one was really good. Why is this one not as good as the other one? You know, just finally getting to be that person, because I don't get to be in that role a lot. So yeah, it's nice.
Yeah,
it's good to be here and to lord this over you. So I'm enjoying it. Do you want to?